This is a DM's look at Nest of the Eldritch Eye, and so spoilers are a certainty. Please leave if you're going to play this or don't want me to spoil the whole damn thing. Right DMs, this should take you about 2 or 3 hours it says. I would put forward it might take closer to the 2 mark. It's designed for 4 to 6 players of 3rd level, and it really depends on how fast your players rush through. Now I'm presuming you've already got the module. I'm just doing this to make prep easier for you when you refresh your memory. The adventure begins on the streets of Neverwinter. Their employer, Daggult Neverember, assigns the party to patrol the streets. It does say that days pass uneventfully. That will extend this one shot if you give them maybe a night before where a brawl breaks out in a tavern, or they have to see to some mundane town crimes, and then when it kicks off they hear a female scream down a back alley. There's a woman in light armour cradling her dead brother who is wearing a tattered robe. These two are siblings, both working for the powers of the city. Out of the guy's dead hand rolls an eyeball, not his own. So this guy is Delvin and the sister is Kavori Fernhart. At least he is an investigator, maybe she's on patrol just like they are. They were both told to investigate the suspicious goings-on around the city, specifically a suspicious cult. I mean, is there any other kind of cult? There's a few cults over there, but nothing suspicious. So Delvin himself had infiltrated a potential hideout, and Kavori will basically put the quest in their laps. Look, I need to take care of this body. Can you please investigate further? Take the eye, whatever, that's the only clue we've got. So maybe your spellcaster will do detect magic on the eyeball and find divination magic around it. Identify will reveal that the eye actually works like a compass if you speak the command phrase, Hail the Undying. Your spellcasters will look all pleased with themselves until the fighter searches the body and finds the passphrase just simply written on a piece of parchment in the pocket. Saying this phrase, Hail the Undying, causes the eye to glow green and always look towards the entrance to a catacomb. So following the gaze of the eye, they'll find the quest. This eye also acts as a key for a door later on, so track where the hell it is. Who's got it, who's eaten it, whose pocket it's in, whatever. Well, firstly, a cheer of appreciation for this map, because I really do appreciate it. Area 1, they descend 20 feet, and they can hear lapping water. Off to the left, rubble almost conceals a little cramped crawl hole. It's passive perception 12 will get them to see it. You should know their perceptions anyway, the players, either on your DM screen or on the little cards you can hang over the top facing you. Now, out on this water floats debris, wooden debris, and as the water gets deeper they can makeshift raft it or swim through it, I guess. Up ahead in the 3 area, the water is unstable. It counts as difficult terrain as some pressure seems to be either falling into the water or coming from underneath. It's an ambush, it's a water weird. How I do this these days is say what's in it, like the water weird, and we'll look at the stats at the end because not everyone needs to see them. But you know, if you're newer or need a refresher, stay back after class. Now I should say that if you get less than passive perception, a perception roll of 15 to spot this water weird turbulence, then it says you have disadvantage on the attack rolls in the fight. In Area 4, they will see a ghostly figure, first and foremost, stood over a drain. This figure is a woman in shape, apart from the head, which is a featureless, glowing orb, if you like. It uses the ghost statistics, and this female ghost has pretty much lost her identity, forgotten who she is, so she has no feature, she has no memory. Now this is, in fact, a knight who is entombed further in. Her name is Chanel Hallwinter. Wait a minute. A relation of Sildar Hallwinter? In either of these? She needs to hear her name said within 20 feet of her ghost. And all of a sudden, that's all it takes for her memories to come flooding back. This isn't meant to be a fight, but you know what players are like, so we'll look at ghost stats at the end. As soon as the players get her memory back, she's full of info. Oh yeah, small group of humanoids descended into the catacombs months ago, whispering about strange rituals and secrets. And she will describe basically Delvin, who you found dead above. He ran away from deeper inside the catacombs, being chased by a person in a hooded robe. Oh, and there's a crypt to the south, crawling with zombies. In Area 5, there's a smell of old paper. Bookshelves with books on, so you need to know what books are on the shelves. Somebody will ask. So use whatever you need to for your books. Meat Preparation and Wine Pairings by William Dancy. Merry Mac by Borko Watt. The World's Words, A Guide to Language by Bromley Cagliostro. There's a gold sarcophagus with a female elf in it. On the outside there are carvings of two females exploring a forest. One of them actually wears Chanel's armour, and this one contains her lover, a female mage. On the shelf there's a heart-shaped locket. Opening up, there's a picture of Chanel and her girlfriend, Michaelia Cyanodel, she's a mage, with the inscription, My Dearest Chanel. Also on these shelves are 5 incense sticks worth 10 gold each, surprisingly. There's also a component pouch to collect, nothing else in it. An investigation of DC 15 will find a hidden compartment in a book. It holds a scroll, protection from evil and good. We'll look at it at the end. Area 6, another gold-plated stone sarcophagus. This also has carvings of 2 women overlooking a field and a city. It's obviously these lovers. Around the walls of this room are old, useless weapons and decorated armour. The only thing usable is a shield, which we'll get to in a minute. On the sarcophagus also is a family crest. It's a blunt, 6-pointed crown. Anyway, the shield that you can steal is a shield of missile attraction. It's cursed, because you can't just wander in places and call dibs on things that ain't yours. However, Chanel the ghost can actually remove the curse if you give her her personality back. It then becomes a +1 shield. Okay. Passive perception of 14 will lead through a door to area 8. Area 7, DC 12 dex save as you squeeze through or take 3d4 bludgeoning damage from rubble. Area 8 is a forked tunnel, depending on which way you come from things. There's your tunnel, your stone door, or I guess onwards to 9. Stinky sewage, which is difficult terrain, fills the room. There are 3 creatures that are all like 4 foot, and these are classed as undead, but you use the grey ooze stats. Now then, these are humanoids that have had an experiment to steal secrets from them gone wrong. They're just sacks of necrotic energy and they ignore difficult terrain. Basically, you could probably see them as sewage monsters using the grey ooze stats, but they are failed experimental monstrosities. In Area 10 there are 8 zombies wandering around a smashed crypt. Make the zombies interesting. Limbs fall off, some get up again after being downed, give some an extra attack, just variety with zombies. Now you can just sneak through with a DC 16 stealth check, but that's no fun, is it? This shrine has been smashed, as I say. It's a shrine to Ogmar, god of knowledge. All that's really left is a stone blank scroll designed on the wall. DC 10 religion check and you'll know who that god is. If you pass by 3, they will know you can re-holy this shrine by cleaning it up and singing a song to Ogmar, or touching it, the shrine, and casting a level 1 or upward spell. Or, as my players would do, just keep walking. If anyone does rededicate the shrine, then it glows white and all the undead fall unconscious for a limit of 24 hours, so kind of what's the point? Area 11, deeper in, there's a double door. It's made of green stone and has a grinning skull with one eye socket filled with a jewelled iris and another empty socket. This is the boys' toilet. Only joking. The door is locked and there's no keyhole. You need the compass eye to put in the socket, don't you? Right, open the door. It's a stairway down. This next room they get to, they see like rows of pews and a statue at the end of the hand of Vecna holding his eye. Green flames light the room with a freaky glow. It's a DC 11 religion check to remember what module you're playing. Oh yeah, Vecna, that's right. Any loud noises in here will alert some cultists taking a nap in area 13. Area 13. Makeshift beds and 7 cultists dozing. DC 14 stealth check to tiptoe through. Probably do a group check instead of individuals. Well, you do you, you know. If any wake up, it's DC 12 intimidation to shut the guys up. They are kind of cowardly. If you want a bit of an info dump out of them, you know, persuasion, intimidation, whatever, it suggests just a flat DC 10. Quite easy. The cult leader is called Zal. A spy came in here, was rooted out and killed. They rumbled that they'd been infiltrated, and also this guy made fun of the leader's name. They all serve the Whispered One. The leader wants to do a ritual to draw secrets from the depths of the mortal soul. But first, some of them are just having a little sleep. In this room, it's a DC 12 investigation. They can find 2 cultist robes, 3 gaudy looking rings, worth 10 GP each. If they get DC 15 on their investigation check, they'll also find a hat of disguise, which we'll look at later, although I'm sure you can guess what it does. Area 14, a table covered in scribbled notes detailing the experiments that have been going on down here. If you take 10 minutes to read these notes, you find out that early attempts to extract secrets from people resulted in those oozy, undead poop monsters we found earlier. They also say that other sects of cultists are hidden across the city under Neverwinter. On a shelf is an ebony box. It's locked. To open it, it's DC 13 with thieves' tools, or a good old smash with DC 15 strength. Acrobatics, it says, actually, for some reason. Anyway, the box is trapped, DC 13 con save, 2d6 necrotic damage. The trap can't be disarmed, and the trap can't be detected. What do you think of that? Inside, 2 potions of greater healing. If they do lob it at a wall to open it up, those things smash, I would imagine. In 15, nice map area, and I think I have something similar. Zal, a cult fanatic, chants and does his ritual on the back wall. 2 people, an elf and a human, stand in the ritual circle, having their shadows drawn out of them. So when a fight kicks off, you've got 2 shadows, 2 people, and a boss. When combat comes to an end, the runic circle hisses with light, and the glow of the runes suddenly turn to smoke. The smoke rises, coalescing into Vecna, basically, or his skull. It hisses and says, "Good news, Zalria." Is that your name? "Though your efforts have been disappointing, you have brought me new points of interest." The apparition swivels round to look at the players. "Yes, there is potential here. May we meet again. But until then, I have my eye on you." The apparition explodes into streaks of shadows which go through the people, the party, everyone else, whatever, Raiders of the Lost Ark style, and there's a whispered scream that everyone hears before it vanishes. This is actually pretty cool because Vecna has given supernatural gifts to those he presumes have done the work down here. So the players get Charm of the Creeping Hand. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack roll using a weapon or an unarmed strike, you can infuse your strike with life-stealing energy. Your attack then deals an extra 1d10 necrotic and you gain 5 temp hit points. Once used 5 times, the charm vanishes. Second, Charm of the Eldritch Eye. You can cast Clairvoyance as an action without using a spell slot requiring no material components. You can do this 3 times before the charm vanishes. And that tiny little tasty morsel is all we get until the module comes out. I will be doing this as my next series of DM help, speeding up prep. You're welcome. But first, for those of you who need stats and explanations, let's go. A water weird is large, don't forget. AC 13, 99 full health, swims at 60 feet. Plus they're in difficult terrain, so this thing will easily get them. Resistant to fire if it's non-magical, and bludgeoning, piercing and slashing from non-magical attacks. Immune to poison, can't be grappled, restrained, paralysed, anything like that. Basically though, it's plus 5 to attack. Its reach is 10 foot, does 3d6 plus 3 bludgeoning damage and grapples your character, DC 13 to escape, and will try to drown your player, basically by suffocation rules. A ghost is AC 11, 80 health at full, it flies 40 feet, quite a lot of resistances again, immune to cold, necrotic and poison, and can't be grappled, paralysed, all sorts of bits and bats. It can move through other creatures and as if they were difficult terrain, that's good to know. You shouldn't be fighting this thing, tell them that. Withering Touch, +5, 4d6, +3 necrotic damage. Horrifying Visage. A creature within 60 feet must succeed on DC 13 Wisdom save or be frightened for a minute. If you fail, you age, which is fun. But not as fun as the possession, which I do love. So DC 13 Charisma save, or you can be possessed by the ghost. Basically, your friends have to knock you down to 0 hit points to get the player out. Protection from evil and good. Until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures. Aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends and undead. The protection grants several benefits. Creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target. The target also can't be charmed, frightened or possessed by them. If the target is already charmed, frightened or possessed by such a creature, the target has advantage on the new saves against getting out of that effect. Grey Ooze AC 8. About 33 full health. Resistant to acid, cold and fire. Oh, they can only move 10 feet as well. That's worth noting. Any non-magical weapon made of metal that hits the ooze corrodes. After dealing damage, the weapon takes a permanent, and it adds up, -1 penalty to damage rolls. If its penalty drops to -5, the weapon is destroyed. The Grey Ooze itself has +3 to attacks, and then 1d6 +1 bludgeoning plus the 2d6 acid damage on top. It also corrodes armour. Well, that's fun. Those zombies then. AC 8, not too bad. Again, 33 health. Poison doesn't do anything. If they go to 0, make a con save with a DC of 5 plus the damage taken, unless it's radiant damage from a crit, and basically the zombie can get back up. But I say just decide that some zombies get back up. The zombies, that's what they should do. Maybe even say, unless they take the head off, they ain't dying. They have a slam attack of +3. It's 1d6 +1 bludgeoning. The cultists have leather armour, AC 12, 16 full health, scimitar +3 to attack with a 1d6 +1 slashing. Fairly straightforward for those. The Hat of Disguise. While wearing this hat, use an action to cast Disguise Self at will. The Cult Fanatic is a little strong with AC 13, 54 health at full, advantage on saves against being charmed or frightened. Spell save DC 11 +3 to hit with its spell attacks. Knows a few spells here. Spiritual Weapon in Inflict Wounds, I'm a fan. 2 attacks. Dagger, melee or ranged, it's +4, 1d4 +2 piercing damage. And then there was the Charm of the Creeping Hand and Charm of the Eldritch Eye. I'm going to follow this episode on with the full Eye of Vecna module, and I look forward to that. I will hopefully see you guys there.